Let's wait for hi Arsha, hi Avni, hi Kainath. So you all are excited? The last ceremony of this festival.
Yes, looking forward. Very excited.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. You all can have your teas or coffees.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Actually, I'm waiting for the momos.
Momos. Momos are long due. Momos. Yeah, there are 3 more people. Okay.
Now we can do with the bahar ka khana, no sir?
Yes, of course. Okay, so 3 more people. Yeah, Ashok sir has joined. Hi, Ashok sir.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Maz.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Snehal. Let's wait for another 2-3 minutes and then we can start. So in the meanwhile, what I'll say is that, see, this is a Zoom session. So Zoom sessions, I have a basic Zoom account. So in 40 minutes, it might get disconnected. So what will happen is we'll again join in the same session, right? So follow the same link after 40 minutes because I'm sure that this is not going to finish in one session. It will take around 2 sessions.
Can you see me well, or shall I have another light?
No, you're perfectly fine, sir. We can see you. Okay, Mohan was waiting. Now Mohan is also joining. Okay. Okay, so Manas is joining now. So the same request, I would ask everyone to mute their mics till the time they are supposed to make any comments or suggestions or any questions. So whosoever wants to ask or say something, just like raise your hands and then they can unmute themselves, or I can also unmute them and then we can start. Otherwise there'll be...
What is this sound? This sound is very disturbing.
Yeah, so that is why I'm saying... going on. Yeah, so somebody's mic is not mute and because of that some sound is coming. So, okay, Tina is joining, Shubham is joining.
Hi, Manas. Hi.
Hi, Manas. And hi, Alok ji. How are you?
I did get a chance to see some of the films, and they were really nice. I really enjoyed them. I was going through the entire list this afternoon,
Okay.
and very, very nice to see them.
So we begin with audience's reaction anyway.
Okay, Shri is joining, Swanand is joining. Okay, so I think we should start now because we are anyways running short on the time. So let me first introduce Ashok Lalji. Ashok Lalji was on our advisory board panel. We were very lucky to have him on the advisory board panel. And Ashok Lalji is a famous playwright, poet, and screenwriter. He has written films like Tera Naam, Mera Naam, Khwaab, written many plays. Some of his popular plays are Ek Mamuli Aadmi, Shatru, The Enemy Within, and many more. Of course, Aarti is joining. So it is our privilege that he took out some time for us, and he has seen all the films. So you'll have a chance to get feedback on your film from him. He really liked the festival, and he has some notes to give to all of you. Mohan Kumar says that sir can't hear you. So everybody else can hear me? Okay, then Mohan, you need to figure out like your mic. Okay. Okay, so yeah. So we start the session. Okay. I would like now Ashok ji to take charge and give his feedback on the festival, on the selection of films, and whatever that comes as his first note or first thought about it. And then slowly we'll begin the session by asking questions, by interactions. Yeah. Over to Ashok ji. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Shyam. First of all, let me congratulate Role Explore because it was a phenomenally good idea. And after that, I must congratulate everyone who is here, everyone who made the films, whose films have been shortlisted, and those whose films have not been shortlisted, and others who may join. So it was a very good idea, and you already had a subject going for you. And believe you me, for one thing that I'd like to say, a lot of people say there are a lot of limitations about lockdown and so on and so forth. But the most wonderful thing about any creative work is that unless the constraints are there, it cannot be done. I mean, you can't have, I mean, everybody wants freedom. I want freedom. You want freedom. Having said that, like if I want to sing a rag, I must get my Sare, Gama, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa all right. And here, lockdown provided a phenomenal this thing. And the audience really does not mind any technical hitches as long as it engages them. So let there be no apologies about that it was shot like this and we had all the restrictions and shortcomings. So that is of no consequence at all. So once again, let me say it again. Congratulations to all of you. It was a very, very enjoyable watch. I watched each film at least once, and therefore I should be able to. Now, another thing that I'd like to say that forget about the description masterclass. The thing is, I am any other viewer. I am watching your film, and I can have an opinion which is completely different, completely opposite to, let us say, Shyam's opinion, but that does not matter. I mean, whether his opinion is greater or mine opinion, who is deciding anyway? So, let even if I were to say something, say that I didn't like it, it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't mean, it doesn't reduce the quality of anything, and therefore let there be no judgmental kind of a thing, and that's very important. How do I view? Acha, the other thing is, I think, are you all comfortable in Hindi also?
Yes.
Are you all comfortable? So why I'm saying this is because I think our the language that we will talk in will be Hindi and English, because one, goes from the other, one to the other all the time. So anyway, now for me, whether I'm writing a poem or writing a play or whatever else, the most important thing is that I should not forget the idea, the driving idea that I had while I was making the film. So if I'm writing a play, I would not like to forget for a moment why I am writing the play. What is that sentiment? What is that feeling? What is that one line that I want to convey to my audiences, which I want to share because it is like boiling within and I want to share it with you. So that kind of a thing. So for me, let me just give an example. I doubt if you have seen my play or read it, but doesn't matter. My best known work is a play called Ek Mamuli Aadmi. And for you who have seen Ikiru, have you seen Kurosawa's Ikiru? Anybody?
Yes, yes, I have.
You have. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a reflection, although my subject was different. So while I would use Ikiru a little bit, my what I want to say was different from what Kurosawa wanted to say. Now, for me, Ek Mamuli Aadmi, one line that I never forgot while I was writing it, that ordinariness is the stepping stone to greatness. And the moment I become conscious that I am beginning to become great, my ordinariness is lost. Therefore, an ordinariness is the most important thing. Now, my play, Ek Mamuli Aadmi, talks about hundreds of things and this issue and that scene and this and but for me, the most important part, which remained all the time with me, was ordinariness is important. The way you see, the way you listen to it, you are listening to it without judgment. You are reacting to what you are actually seeing without any preconceived notions. So ordinariness was a very important part of it. Now, similarly, in any other idea, let me give you an extreme example, which I mean, you have not seen the work, but it doesn't matter. I hope I will be able to get across to you. This film called Tera Naam Mera Naam, which Shyam referred to, was a film on reservation. And when Mandal and this, that, and the other, all of you are very young and you wouldn't know what happened during that time or that happened. So there was a whole lot of thing about scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, reservations, and so on and so forth, something which continues till this day, it has not changed. Now, there's one gentleman who, and I'll tell you that one experience which got the film made and the play written, I was awarded for that play. The film has not been seen widely, but anyway. So there's a gentleman who came to my cabin in an office where I used to work, and he said, "Sir, I have something very important to say." He closed the door and much like conspiratorial kind of things were started. And he said, "Look, the thing is that these scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people have made an association called Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Officers Association. So why don't we make an anti-scheduled caste scheduled tribe association?" I looked at him because, of course, I came from very different ideas. So I looked at him and I said, "I think talking to a wrong person because I belong to the scheduled caste myself. Now that man's jaw fell on the ground and stayed put all time there. Now that look became the most important thing for me writing the play. There was no play before that. Now why it became, because all of us have these predetermined attitudes towards this is how the scheduled caste people are, this is this thing, and what are you doing in the process? You're losing your ordinariness and therefore to be able to see the thing. So one thing that I would like to see in a play, in any film, in any poem, is that what is that one line that you are trying to convey? Because once you come out of the hall, that little feeling at that point in time, whether you liked it or you didn't like it, what happened to you, that is where it stays. After that, you may intellectually discuss it this way or that way. It doesn't quite matter really. Now, what is the driving idea is my first way of looking at a film. Now, I wanted to see, because the idea was very, very interesting, I wanted to see lockdown as a major character in your films. Because that was a given. That was the Sare Gama Padhani Sa on which you had to build a rag. Lockdown was a given thing. Therefore, for me, I mean, before I started viewing, this was I mean, almost a requirement. I was a little disappointed in one respect, I may say, except for one or perhaps one and a half films. There was very little political content in the films. Because I don't mean party politics, I don't mean anything, but for example, domestic violence itself has a lot of politics behind it. Everything, every sphere of our lives has it has politics behind it. And here, out of your window, out of your television, and so on and so forth, you were seeing thousands and thousands of migrant workers and this, that, and the other. At that point in time, it is important that you are going internally into yourself rather than going outside. I can quite understand that. However, not to have an impact of the economics, that economic misery that it is causing, or the migrant labor, or generally speaking, politics between me and my wife, between me and my this thing, while we are all totally locked down together, because there's a whole lot of drama happening within you and within me. And I wanted to see a reflection of that. So, another thing I'd like to tell Shyam. Shyam, now that this first experiment has taken place and has done very, very well indeed, congratulations again. I would like to see a second round of this, because fortunately, for a filmmaker, but unfortunately, the lockdown is not going to be eased in any time in the near future, and the impact of the lockdown that we have had is going to last at least for my lifetime. And the new normal, somebody made a very beautiful thing called new normal. So that shall also continue. So I would like to see another festival also, Shah. Okay?
Definitely,
Maybe
sir.
time.
In fact, we are working on that. So me and Hemant, we have been bouncing back ideas like what could be the next strategy. So we have come up with like 2 plans. So we'll be very soon, we'll be out with it. So it will be
Oh,
not
how
just
lovely.
a short film like this, but it will be an extension of it. So we'll be announcing very soon.
And one little more thing, and then I'll stop, and then we'll start the interactive session. Is this that if somebody asked, somebody said this, somebody famous has said this. I forget his name. Anyway, you should take it as my quote now. Somebody said that, sir, you have to speak in a particular function, etc., etc. So he said, I'm ready. How long do I have to speak? His impression was that he always gave an hour lecture or 2 hours lecture, so he was very comfortable. As a professor, I have also been. But he says your time allocated time is only 5 minutes. So he said, in which case I would require a long time for preparation. So when you're making a short film, Sham, the kind of preparation you do, the moment I ask you to make a shorter and a shorter and a shorter film, you're responsible because you have to say that, put that idea across, which is driving you to the film, and it becomes even more interesting to be saying it and more difficult in a short film. So I love short films really. Now, Shelby, how do we go about it? Like like for example, Pratay Saha made Slab. I'm going to go by the order which your site has followed, right?
Yeah,
So
that
we
will be
could
fine,
go
sir. Yeah.
from one film to the other.
Yeah.
Do we have Pratay Saha there?
Yeah, Pratyay is here.
Ah, I can't see. Oh, hi,
Hi,
Pratay.
hi. How are you doing?
Very well. Now I'll just make a point, and after that, please react to it. And anybody is free to react, but I would rather spend 1.5 minutes each with each one of you for about your film first. Okay. Now it's a good film. It holds interest, and the twist at the end really shocks you, which is wonderful. And what happens is that when you see a twist, it should justify everything that you have done so far. I mean, it should look like a surprise or a shock, but in retrospect, it should look like that's how it should have happened. Now, my little problem with it was I thought it was a domestic violence film, and I hope I'm not being sexist because I was looking at man perpetrating the domestic violence. Here, the case was slightly different. Now, for me, because of the end, unfortunately, Pratay, the film stopped being on the subject of lockdown. The woman was looking at lockdown as an opportunity to take her revenge or whatever. Was that your idea?
Pratyay, would you like to
Pratay, have
interact
you
on
heard?
this?
I can't see Pratay anymore.
And then he is not seen now.
But where is he gone?
I don't know. Because of the poor network sometimes. So some
I
people...
hope I didn't say anything very harsh. Huh?
Now, see, the idea was here to have Ashok Lalji because he has a very long history of writing and being associated with the film. So to give you the real feedback, because that was the part of the masterclass. So definitely. And it is just one perspective. We were discussing that, okay, this is not a final wording or a final say, but then this is
There never is a final thing, no.
Exactly. So this is one perspective, and I'm sure that you are going to get enriched by his views and his perspective a lot.
Okay, we have lost Saha.
Yeah. Pratyay is here, but Pratyay, can you hear? Your video is not seen, so maybe you can interact if you want. Anshulika is here from the same team. Anshulika,
now I'll go to the. We'll come back to Pratay Saha.
Sure.
But I'd like to go to the next film. Baki sab bekar ki baatein. Just give me a quick recall who it is. Baki sab Shubham Sinha.
Shubham Sinha, yeah, he's here.
I'm an old man, so I keep forgetting. Just give me a little quick backdrop of your film.
So it's a film to tribute doctors and frontliners. So I made that film. It's a song-based film. Baki sab baatein bekar. So it's a tribute for that.
Okay, but I have a bit of a take on this. Like, you can certainly have a cause as your driving idea, and you can make a film based on the cause. But the cause is a generalized and an abstract kind of a thing, which everybody would say, yes, doctors and nurses should be safe and nobody should do this, that, or the other. Mm-hmm. But the drama starts when I need to do it. I mean, I need to hit a doctor, I need to this thing. Then the filmmaker's work starts. Because otherwise it's the very nice classroom situation, be good to others and stuff like that, right? My problem with your film, I mean, nobody can dispute that thing. And this girl, whoever acts there, acts beautifully, and very good atmosphere created and all that. Her being a doctor did not get registered as strongly as it should have. Nor did exactly her, she was too cool about when she was seeing what she was seeing. It should have been a little more. And for me to be drawn into the subject, I should have seen, and this is all one man's opinion. Please do not think that this is some kind of a judgment. This is extremely important, right? Now, I should have seen that happening a little more. And the doctor reacting to it. But my final problem is a very different one with your film. Because the most important character after lockdown of your film was that one man who was seeing Neha, Dr. Neha, going out on the staircase. Believe you me, I couldn't figure out whether he had an expression of respect. He may be gesturing, but I thought he is going to follow her and stalk her or do something bad with Neha. That was the impression, because the look of that gentleman should have been far more respectful, is my take. Okay. Now, anything you would like to say, Shubham?
No, sir. I will take care of this in the future.
But do make a film, because you have this lovely sense of showing a child here and there. It was quite enjoyable, actually. I enjoyed your film.
Thank you.
Now, A Colored Life. Do we have Prajit Kumar?
Prajit, I guess...
is not here.
Prajit is not here, yeah.
We will come back to, if he comes, then we'll come back to him later, okay? Then, New Normal. Is Mohan Kumar Pandya here?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I'm here.
I saw him.
I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Where is Mohan?
Can you hear me, sir?
Oh, hi Mohan Kumar.
Good evening, sir.
I agree. I really, really enjoyed your film.
Thank you so much, sir.
It was a story between the lockdown and one person. It told me a whole full story, and as I said, apart from one or two other films, the interaction with the outside society and therefore with politics and therefore with what is going on inside, because outside would reflect inside here.
Exactly.
I found your film a very complete film with a beginning, middle, and an end.
Thank you so much, sir.
Whoever acted very well, and it was very well shot. So
you,
I have very little to say except very nice things about your film.
Thank you. It's an honor, sir, to hearing from you. Thank you so much, sir.
So, would you like to say something about your film? I hope everyone has seen everyone else's films.
Yes, sir.
I hope you've seen Mohan Kumar Pandya's film.
Yes,
because
yes,
then
we have.
only you'll be able to connect to it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Mohan.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I want to thank you first. It's an honor talking to you like this. We got an opportunity to speak to you.
Hello, wonderful. Then
and coming to...
Yeah, sorry.
Just as I said earlier, sir, it's just an idea that I came through my brother who was working into finance company. So just by looking at him, what he was going through all the time and what I was getting to hear from his friends and my friends, what they're going through, that's what I came up with and wrote the script and shot this film, sir.
Now here is what I had meant by that driving idea. The whole film reflects that Mohan Kumar Pandya had something to say.
Thank you so much, sir.
From the very first shot, so what is that driving idea which you have? And Shubham, I'll come back to you. It need not be a cause. It has got to be a sentiment, according to me, okay, for whatever it is worth. Now we come to lockdown and teenager is Manoshi Roy here?
Manoshi is not seen here, not yet. No.
Okay, so we will see that again, Shah, and we'll go to, is Swanand Kothawar here?
Yeah, Swanand is here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't, where is Swanand? Say
Yes,
hi.
Yes, sir. Hi, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, yes.
Um, First thing first, that it looked like cinema. It was, like the kind of visuals that you start with, and you're seeing out of the window, and the silence was really eloquent. Complete silence spoke so much, actually. And then those shots of the clouds and a bird flying, and then a squirrel making its way and all that, and the ease, the no hurry, there was no hurry in cutting this shot to that shot. So all that created phenomenal impression on me. And you had this बुरी खबरें भी साधारण हो गई हैं. Isn't that what you say in one of the places?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah,
बुरी खबरें भी अभी साधारण सी लगती है.
हाँ. Now, beautiful telling line, very good telling, which means it was talking about our becoming insensitive to what is happening around us, also
Yes,
at the
yes.
same time. Because one day you can be sensitive, next week you can be sensitive, 3 weeks later, but 3 months later is that little difficult because you are new into a new normal according to who? Mohan. Okay. I have very good too, but I would like to avoid in a short film particularly. See, when we are into a lockdown, there are two kinds of inputs which are taking place in us all the time. First thing is the existing questions, and the other is existential questions.
Yeah.
Big questions concerning life. What is life? All those kind of existentialist questions. What end do we go to? Where have I come from? Where am I going? All those kinds of questions also unfortunately bother you. Nobody can find an answer to it. Yeah. Now, the only little thing that I'd like to say about your film is this. The metaphysical should have been implied rather than spoken. Because as I said, बुरी खबरें भी साधारण लगने लगी हैं was far more telling than anything else. That's my opinion. Okay, now again.
Yes, yes, sir. I'll consider it. Yes.
Anything you would like to say, Swana?
No, sir. You're saying something, I think.
No, I have said my word. I'm a writer, so I can speak for a long time. Okay.
Yeah, so sir, for that line, "Buri khabre abhi sadharan si lagti hai," it's like I was feeling that I was living in too much of a privileged space also. Like there's so much happening bad. One day I feel bad about it. 2 days, then it's the same news flashing again, and the same things like for say migrant laborers also walking. Like I'm also helpless in that situation, no. So I can't do anything about it. So yeah, that's where it came from, I think. And I'm
that's
very
why
glad
it is not a perspective from anybody's point of view. It's just capturing that I could see. It's not a point of view film in that sense. Yeah. So I would like to just point out to people that Mohan Kumar Pandya's film and Swanand's film use lockdown as a character very beautifully. So that's what gives them a bit of an edge. I'm not deciding what the jury will decide. I do not want to be part of any jury. I hate it actually to be part of jury. Okay, so we come to Smoked Chicken and Gravy. It's been directed by PSA. What's PSA?
No, it's Kainat.
Kainat?
No, not Kainat. No, not Kainat.
Kainat is directed another one.
I'm Maz Kazmi.
Maz, yeah.
Huh?
I'm Maz Kazmi. I'm the director of Smoked Chicken Gravy. PSA is the abbreviation for Public Service Announcement.
Achha. Oh yes, of course. And you actually resemble Rajiv Malhotra, who does this public broadcasting system himself. Okay. So very interesting. Conceptually, now, please sort of mark my words. I'm going to say that rather carefully. Because conceptually, and you have lockdown as a very important character in the film, etc., etc. But just one thing, and I'd like you to, speak about it. That when I am doing a thing like the one that you were doing, I hope everybody has seen the film. So I'm just imagining that everybody has. The girl and that one man who comes for that little 15 to 30 seconds, or whatever the length of that is. A little tension on the girl's face, or a little what she has been going through, that kind of a thing. That did not come through. And she continued to smile and be exactly like a salesperson through the film. So for me, personally, whether it was directional or whether it was like whatever the reason, but for me, I did not find her somebody who is sending me an SOS. And for that, you don't require a huge musical score or huge value, no, one look. So for me, that was missing. Yeah, please react.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, not an issue. Thank you so much for your perspective. And very incidentally, after making this film, I showed it to my mom, and my mom said the exact same thing. But what I had to say to her and what I have to say to you is that
Yes.
I do not know what's the end result, what's the impact on the audience, but the choice of what you see was very intentional. So I wanted whatever she's doing to be a very pleasant facade, that I have a very hunky-dory life. And exactly at the same time, when the husband comes in, I wanted him to be the nicest gentleman ever to be existed on this planet. Because generally, you have no idea who's going through with what. And that's the whole idea of the film. They generally very casually put the onus on the victims. You need to speak up. The onus should be on people around victims to lend a pair of non-judgmental ears to them so that they feel free and safe to speak up. And especially considering this scenario where you are trapped with an abuser and you do not have a way out, and the abuser is sitting right next in the next room. He may just enter, he may just hear your voice. It's a practice that woman has developed to be spick and span and leave no doubt for her abuser, वरना पीछे से पीठ पे दो घुसे और पड़ जाएंगे उस vlog के बाद. So with this thought, I ensured, in fact, she's my actual wife. Both of us are non-actors, and she was.
You mean you have an actual wife and not such an actual wife, yeah?
Sorry, I mean, she's my wife. So in one of the takes, she tried giving that, and I kind of told her to not do that with this thought. Okay. So that is all I have to say. But having said that, you giving me this opinion, my mom giving this opinion, I need to make note of it, and I need to just, in retrospect, think on it as to whether it would have made a better impact.
It feels nice to have the same view as your mother did. So maybe your wife doesn't like it, but okay. Because it's natural if your mother doesn't like it, then your wife likes it. That's the possibility. All right. This too shall pass. Sumdima Roy.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hi.
Namaste.
Namaste. You're looking so nice. So I have nothing to say.
Yeah, life is just good.
I must say, while again, it's a good thought. This too shall pass. Unfortunately, it's a very generalized thought. Mm-hmm. It's like making a statement, and everybody has made this statement 500,000 times. To be able to tell tellingly in a situation like this, I should not have had it like coming from outside, telling me like a sermon that this too shall pass. It was not happening. Like in films like they say very often, don't say it, do it. So I'm very sorry, but when I was seeing your film, my very feeling was this too shall pass.
Right.
Now, no offense means, but well,
Of course not.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, because too philosophical, it was the driving idea wasn't particularly there, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Now,
thank you
Bahar
so
ka
much.
khana.
It's a privilege actually to hear from you. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
If you have any quick questions also, you can also ask, or maybe you can wait till the end and we can have a separate question answer session. But it's better
Shyam,
that.
Do you have any questions so far, Shyam?
No, not me.
Good. Yeah. All right, we get to Bahar ka khana. Is Harsha? Do we have the director? Oh,
yes, sir.
Hi. Sahana Harsha. It says Harsha Udupi, if I remember right.
That's right. Actually, I logged in from my wife's account.
All right. First thing first. Very enjoyable idea, and we can sort of quibble about the details quite a bit, but let me not sort of look at it from that point of view. I must say it was a great idea, and it talked about the possibility of coexistence, and you did not, you took your audience in confidence about what you want to say, etc. So everything created a good atmosphere and so on and so forth. The only little thing that it should have been a little more conspiratorial, which means that when the food comes, the wife or whoever is serving the food has a job to make it look like it has come from outside. While it has come exactly from the next door neighbor, which is not like a Zomato or a Swiggy delivery. It doesn't come with plastic, this, that, and the other. In one of somebody's person's food actually comes with that kind of plastic cover, bahar ka khana. Now that is not that I would avoid, okay, because you are doing it in an apartment house or wherever. So that was like, as I said, this, in some details it lacks that kind of a thing, but good idea, and lockdown was a character and used well. Yeah, Harsha, would you like to say something?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, through this film, I wanted to convey two things. One is a positive vibes, because lockdown is not where you should get depressed. Good thing how you can motivate yourself. And the second is I took a challenge of making a film involving 7 families, which are 4 in same locality, in Kandivali West, and 1 in Kandivali East, and 1 in Andheri, and 1 in Hyderabad. So getting all these people together who are remotely directing them, remotely ensuring them they take a perfect shot. So those are the challenges I took, and I'm okay with the output what I got.
Yeah. In fact, I asked Shyam that how come you can have multi-locational kind of shooting in this? And I was wondering whether it conforms to the requirements, but now that you explained it to me, Shyam also explained it to me. Yeah, that was very well used, and it came off very well, and it looked like one man's work, which is how it should have been. It came out well, yes.
I only edited, sir.
But you had the basic idea was yours.
And I have given the strict guidelines, scene by scene, shot by shot, I have given the instructions.
You scripted it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. It was an effective film. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, tit for tat is who? Kainat. Kainat was here earlier. Hi, Kainat.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Now, one thing, first question. Why do you, because Kainat does not have the nukta there. It's not Kainat, it is Kainat. So why do you spell your name with a Q?
Because in Arabic it was supposed to be with the this thing, the nukta.
In Arabic, you mean the word is Kainat?
It's Kainat, yeah.
No. I hope you're listening to me perfectly. In Urdu, which I can boast of knowing a little bit, is Kainat. There's no dot. It is not ka, it is ka. Therefore, the Q for me, as an Urdu guy, was a little surprising. How about?
Then I don't know. I'll have to ask my mother.
No, you will have to. I can see that you are particularly lost on that. Yeah.
Yes, right. Completely.
Again, I think it was an interesting idea, and you did cast Lockdown as a character, but rather half-heartedly. Because, you know, your film was of the kind where the ends would justify the means. Like, for example, there's a change in this woman's heart that she says, "What was I doing?" kind of a thing. So, all right, I like avoiding melodrama, but for me, the justification of her thinking that she would do it and the justification in retreating and not doing it, or the change in her which takes place either way, this end and that end, both did not seem convincing. Where is this sound coming from?
Prajit, your mic is on. Prajit, unmute yourself.
Kainat, can you hear me? Did you get my point?
Yes, I got your point.
What would you like to say something about it? Because as I said, I have a view. That's about it. I am no expert.
See, I came from the whole point is it's a very confusing situation for a mother. It's completely confusing. Whether to do it, not to do it, what she's doing is right, and the whole thing is a guilt trip and all. And I wasn't sure whether I was showing enough. And that was one thing that I was also doubting, that is it enough? Are people going to understand? Because when I did the film, so to be very honest, there were many people who didn't understand the topic. And I got a lot of messages
I did.
Yeah, but I got a lot of messages, obviously telling me that they did not know that these things exist. Plus, on the other side, I got a lot of messages from husbands saying that my wife has also been going through this and we've been supporting her and all. So, I think, I feel it should have been a little more explained. And I think the end, I mean, this is what I feel. Okay, I feel that it's a very confusing situation, and that is why, I mean, I do not want to show melodrama, but it is true. Sometimes you feel like going towards the edge and then you come back. Because you feel that, I mean, iski galti nahi hai. It is not the fault of the child. It's going on in my head, or, you know, should I do it? So that's what I felt.
I don't know, but I have already told you what I felt about the film. I mean, I can see your point of view.
Yes, sir.
Except that sometimes melodrama is not such a bad thing.
Yes.
And creating atmosphere is an important thing here, which I thought somehow got a little sidestepped. But good film. Who was acting in it? Who was the lady?
She was a friend of mine. She's a friend of mine from school.
So here, like acting acha kar leti ho, phana dekha. With that, I didn't, you know, it was not built. It did not have a, you know, anything that I do in the first half of the film has to be justified in the climax. Because the climax actually consists of all the elements that you've introduced in the film. from the wherever you introduced. Now, some of these sentences which look very smart and nice, but don't have a future. That also is the short film, so I wouldn't like to do it. So anyway, enjoyed your film. Now, shall we go to the next film, which is Oh Ma? Do we have Shubham? I saw Shubham.
Yeah, he's here.
It's your film, right, Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Why is your film?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. One second. I'm just getting a cup of tea, so I'm just saying that. Just hold on. Yeah, yes, cup of tea.
So we have a quick chai break. Anybody wants to get their tea? Like we can take 30 seconds or 45
okay,
seconds.
Now I'm all right,
he's
sorry.
back already.
Okay. No, I wasn't going out for a very long time because there are limitations about time. Okay. Shubham, it was not a lockdown.
Yes.
In the sense that it was an interesting idea to give me that twist at the end. And who is the mother, that kind of a figure. And I must say this about the film, that you have used that one character very effectively. I mean, remembering them very effectively used and created an atmosphere about it. However, first problem, it was not a lockdown film, it was generally a good idea. So it had very little or nothing to do with the lockdown, which I thought was an important condition of this particular festival. Second, while you may like to reveal it to me at the end, you have to introduce some element, like that woman was offered tea. I would have liked to hear a male voice there. I'll tell you why. I wouldn't have noticed it anyway. But then it would have justified everything that you did. Just, hello, chalo. Just that little thing would have, in my opinion, introduced your subject to me. It did come, it was a pleasant thing that, okay, chalo yaar, male ko bhi koi थोड़ी बहुत लिफ्ट दे रहा है, मुझे अच्छा लगता है, नहीं तो माँ के ऊपर होता रहता है. I was quite happy with that. But I personally think it was not a lockdown.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yes,
well,
sir.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you agree, because I'm saying that your film was did not qualify for being a lockdown film at all. That's good spirit, anyway. So anyway,
so that's what, just to hear from you, your points of view is so enlightening and so insightful. So that in itself is a big achievement for us here.
Now, I have already said, Sudhima, that you are a very beautiful girl, okay? So I'm not going to keep repeating, giving you the compliments back.
But I am going to, sir. Sorry,
right.
Please carry on.
We'll see each other later, okay? Now we come, somebody who may have the film that you may have left and come back, Shah.
Yeah, Prajit is back.
Okay,
so
we'll go forward.
We'll go forward and then we'll come back, yeah.
Come back, okay. Jumla. Jumla is Sagar.
Yes, sir.
Where is the
Sagar? Okay.
Oh, hi, Sagar.
Hello, sir.
Oh, were you the actor? No, you are not the actor. In the beard.
Yes, I am the actor, sir.
You are also the actor. The beard is a bit of a problematic thing. Everybody looks alike here. Even a handsome person, it's like a good mask already.
Yeah.
Okay, so about your film. First of all, I hated the title.
Jumla.
Because as you are aware and as I am aware, Jumla word in our society at the moment, in our political discourse and everything, has come to signify a certain kind of a Jumla.
Yeah, like a joke.
Yeah.
Or something. Right?
And in your case, you were making a very serious kind of a situation, the creative process and whatever else you were making.
Okay.
And one thing which is like in a film, like they say, you're only saying, you're not showing. That's what. So, for example, you do talk about passion,
Right.
but that passion is not seen. So you are only saying it. And it also becomes clear at the end. First of all, I like the idea. I mean, but having said everything else before that, let me just say that it was a good lockdown situation, and this kind of a creative process taking place out of that was all that was fine. The thing is that the word that you use is passion. That doesn't show. The restlessness before expression. If I want to express something, I want a release of certain passion, certain thing. That is not happening. So the release comes without the necessary build up to it. And also at the end, I think it should have been a very, very exciting moment for everybody concerned. It looked like a very sad moment. It should have been just the opposite, in my opinion. When you are able to express or say something, that should have been a matter of, excitement.
Yeah, actually, sir, I wanted to depict as a normal window thought that comes in your mind in the morning when you are just boiling your tea or something doing. So I try to picturize that like the passion is like fire, and then actually I am at the confusion.
What is it is about bottom jalna? I have never heard this expression before. Huh?
Actually, sir, वो ऐसा मजाक में मैंने बोला हुआ है जैसे कि मतलब अगर कोई भी अगर पैशनेट है एंड उसके ड्रीम्स है, सो इट इज लाइक कि वो पैशन के पीछे पागल है एंड अपने आप को बस उसमें घिस रहा है या फिर उसके लिए स्ट्रगल कर रहा है या फिर whatever he is doing for his dreams.
For that, if you are going to act it also, so you have to do much more. That guy looks so balanced and just thinking of the camera angle apparently. So that's the passion doesn't come through.
Okay, sir. Totally connect.
The passion of release and expression neither comes through.
Okay.
But it's a very good idea, lockdown idea that I would like to say.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now we have who? The gift. The gift is by
Sri Chandra.
Let me check where you are.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you, so I have low bandwidth, so I can't on the video or else I'll lose it.
You can't see me.
I can see you.
But you can see.
There would be a
but
problem.
I can't see you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I would like you to explain the film to me, if you don't mind, because I did see it, even though this was the longest of all the films, I still saw it more than once, okay? But I'm not able to really get that one idea. It has lots of interesting vignettes here and there, something very interesting happening. And are you acting it out, Sri?
Yes,
are you
the
actor? You're the actor also?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're a very good looking actor, so that's given. But having said all that, now I'll just cut that. I would like you to tell me why you made this film. I mean, the question that I've been saying, that what was the driving force? And let me get it from you, because I did not get any idea from that.
Sir, basically there are two perception of this film, from the acting point of view and from direction point of view. And somewhere the film is...
Please cut out all the technical aspects. Just tell me what was the driving idea that you had. What is it that you wanted to say?
Self-belief, sir. Self-belief, believing in yourself. Am I audible?
Belief in yourself, okay. All right.
Exactly.
I'll have to see the film again. So please explain it to me, because to me it did not come through. Please go on.
Basically what happens, we do depend on many people. We do depend on materialistics. We do depend situationally on others' words, other inspiration, motivation. But bottom line is that unless and until you push, unless and until you believe yourself, unless and until something is sown within yourself, your heart, and you don't believe it, nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to change. So that's what I wanted my story to be shown with something different. So I added this gift box. It's on your birthday. On birthday, we do accept a lot of gifts. But what I wanted to give a message out to the world is the best gift what you can give to you is yourself in today's human race and this human rat race.
Okay. I mean, I would like to say it's an interesting idea, but for me, the driving force to say this, what you're saying now, did not get reflected in the film. My take. Now, which please do not take it as a final judgment on your work or whatever, because as I said, it looks very nice vignettes and all that. But as a complete product, it left me a little cold.
Exactly,
it doesn't
sir.
mean
I
anything
wanted,
at all, huh?
yeah, exactly, sir. And also, today in my film, I didn't wanted to give a sharp cut and a well-defined close ending. I wanted to keep an open end for the film, and also I wanted as a audience perception on the end of my film, see what an individual get, rather than me defining the end and closing. I wanted each individual to relate to my film and have an end.
But
That was also my idea.
Shri, you were clear about what you were doing. Were you absolutely clear about what you were doing?
Yes,
Forget
sir.
about the audience for a moment.
Yes, sir.
You were
Absolutely
clear.
clear. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have to watch the film again because I must say I haven't been. No, quite seriously, because I simply did not get that, and this was the longest film that I watched in the whole thing. So 10 minutes. Okay, next is.
So the first, yeah.
Can we go to the next film called Pandemic? This is by Suraj Dalvi. Is Suraj Dalvi here?
Suraj, are you here? Because I see somebody by the name Redmi. So I don't know who is Redmi.
Hi, hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, Redmi. Could you introduce yourself? Like, what's your real name?
Yeah, my name is Suraj. I'm brother of Sri Chandra. Younger brother.
Okay.
Okay, you made the film Pandemic, no?
No. He is different.
No, I'm sorry, sir. My bad. He actually got confused with the name, as his name is Suraj too.
Okay, so we'll again pass the Pandemic for the moment, Shyam.
Yeah.
And come to the next film. First day, Tina is here. She has been here all this while. Hi, Tina. So you were acting too. Hi, Tina. So you were also Namaste. You were also the actor in the film. Okay.
Yes.
Let me start by saying that being a male, I might miss out some of the things that your film shows. And I have not known too many people who have difficult menstruation cycles. And therefore, I would like to plead ignorance about what goes on, really. So, I mean, that must be taken into account when I say anything about the person. That you're also talking to somebody who is ignorant, and my gender, which is generally ignorant about these things. And that you're talking to them, therefore your responsibility increases. Your responsibility in expression increases because you want to say that particular thing. Now, what is your story? Just for a moment, you tell me what is happening.
Yeah, actually, in the film, it's a situation also. कि जब ऐसी कंडीशन होती है और ऐसे में अगर कोई लड़की अकेली है और लॉकडाउन हो जाता है तो वो कैसे सारी चीजों को मैनेज करे, ये पर्टिकुलर एक सिचुएशन थी. बट उसके साथ साथ जब सीवियर उसकी हालत है तो वो कैसे मैनेज करती है. तो कहीं ना कहीं हमको ये सिर्फ लॉकडाउन में नहीं, ऐसी कई बार सिचुएशन नॉर्मल लाइफ में भी आती है कि पैड अगर नहीं होता है तो हमको कुछ और चीज यूज करनी पड़ती है इमरजेंसी. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दैट वाज अ सिचुएशन ओनली. एंड साथ में सोसाइटी में आज करके उस तरीके से बातचीत खुलकर नहीं होती. ये मतलब मेरा खुद का भी एक्सपीरियंस रहा है और इसमें मेरे हस्बैंड ने मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट किया बिकॉज हर मंथ को इस तरीके की चीजें मेरे साथ देखते हैं जो कि उन्होंने अदर लड़कियों के साथ नहीं देखी कभी. तो ये
उन्होंने दूसरी लड़कियां भी देखी हैं. अच्छा करो.
अच्छा मतलब सिस्टर और मदर की. तो वो भी शौक थे कि ये मतलब तुम्हारे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों होता है. बट मैंने जब उनको बताया कि ऐसा नहीं, बॉडी के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है और जो वुमन बॉडी है उसको हम किस तरीके से लेते हैं. या कई लोग बहुत रूड भी हो जाते हैं कि अरे पेट की तो है, इतना क्या इसका प्रॉब्लम है, मतलब कि ये इतना इसको दर्द होता है उस तरीके की चीज. बट एक्चुअल उस वक्त उस पर क्या गुजर रही होती है वो सिर्फ वो ही जानती. तो वो जो पेन था वो मुझे एक्चुअली पहुंचाना था. ये सब्जेक्ट को कोई भी ढंग से खुल के बात नहीं करता है आज की सिचुएशन में भी, तो वो एक रखने की कोशिश.
अच्छा, you didn't think of an unsympathetic male also being part of the scenario?
Sorry sir, नहीं समझी.
नहीं, एक कोई unsympathetic male, unsympathetic husband, unsympathetic whoever. Didn't you think of a counterfoil when you were making this film? Because it would have been more complete. It would give you an angle. Because as it is, it becomes like a mono acting kind of a situation. Awful situation. I mean, all that I said that's what I'll say. Lekin you didn't think of a counterfoil at all.
फिर उसके लिए शायद एक को एक्टर मतलब उस तरीके से होना पड़ता उसके लिए. बट जो मेरी सिचुएशन थी उसमें ये था कि लॉकडाउन में एक लड़की है जिसको इतना सीवियर पेन है और उसके डाइट खत्म हो चुके हैं और वो अकेली रहती है क्योंकि उसकी मदर भी उसको कॉल करती है दूसरे शहर से कि तुझे कितनी बार बोला है कि हमें देख रख ले.
क्या आपने पहली फिल्म बनाई है आपने टीना?
फर्स्ट मेरी पहली फिल्म
बनाई है. आई कैन सी दैट क्योंकि वो काफी सजी हुई लगती है. वैसे सब चीजें हैं जो नहीं होनी चाहिए. तो सजी हुई फिल्म अच्छी है. ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू टीना. देन वी कम टू टाइम लूप. Bartoni. Is Mr. Bartoni here? बस से बहुत इम्प्रेस हो गया हूँ. ऑलरेडी इटालियन नाम आ जाता है तो
no. Bartoni is the name of the film, sir. वो Assamese film है, so the director's name is different. I had written somewhere.
अच्छा, वो सारा नाम है फिल्म का? ओहो.
Yeah. So yeah, the name of the director is something else.
Saurav Mahanta.
Saurav, right? Saurav Mahanta. So Saurav is.
मैं बहुत इम्प्रेस हो गया था, तो मैं तो बहुत इम्प्रेस हो गया फिल्म देखी है. बारतोनी की फिल्म.
Well, I don't think he's here.
Yeah, I don't think so because he had mentioned in the group about the Assam situation.
Right.
Doesn't seem likely.
So he's not here.
Anyway, this was again a very cinematic film, and in a very short space, he was. The Bartoni has been able to create. No, what's his name? Sorry,
Saurav.
Yeah, Saurav has been able to create an atmosphere of a film. You know, like the shots are very, very interesting and so on and so forth, and this complete the loneliness in spite of people present around you, came across very, very well. I could not personally quite relate to the poem that was being said with it. I mean, it was more about helplessness than anything else, or more about really lonely, being lonely and something else. But perhaps it looked like an overkill for me because the poem, even if you did not have the poem, the film had the same impact. And it is interesting that there's a poem, but it has not been used to enhance the effect of the film. But otherwise, I must say that it's a good cinematic kind of mobile phone film.
Sir, on this note, can I just ask you a question then? Because what worked for me, I mean, on this film only was, of course, the visuals, and I found the poem very, very, bold. So when you're saying that it could have worked without the poem, then what would you have used instead then?
No, I'm not therefore saying what my idea would have been. I'm talking only as a viewer. This is a different subject. I'll tell you why I'm saying so though.
Yeah.
I mean, there only one reason. For example, I'm reading the poem also on the screen. It's like a scroll which is coming. Somehow the quality of being able to read, you have to spend too much time on that, because on computer, on mobile or anywhere else, it does not come across so vividly. The background in this particular thing, the background is not always dark behind. Therefore, there's a whole lot of effort because of which you have to see the thing. So first thing is the physical problem of getting to the poem. And secondly, the recitation itself. To me, it leaves something, because since I'm a poet, I'm allowed to have this. The recitation did not have that kind of a passion, according to me. But let me not talk about this, because then it becomes a bit of a personal comment, and that's not my intention.
No, I mean, it's just a comment on what medium would work and what not. So just wanted to know. That's all.
For example, the long poem, I mean, scattered words sometimes work much better than a full poem.
Mm-hmm.
You can give the impression of a full poem happening, but we must take out the important thing why we are saying that poem slightly differently. Otherwise, it gets lost, it becomes wordy, and it gets lost the thing. So I could get the helplessness part of it and so on and so forth. But basically,
so you're saying the visuals were so strong and powerful that it would have stayed even without the support of the poetry, which kind of took you away from the visuals that was always speaking to you.
I didn't say that. I said that for me, what worked was the visuals. Unfortunately, I could not enjoy, or could not double my enjoyment, because I could not read the poem, and as a viewer, I have my right not to exercise myself too much. It is your duty as a director to make me see it. I am not going to make an effort.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Now we come to. Shall we pass on to Linga?
Yes, sir.
Linga is Avani.
Yes, sir.
Where is Avani? Can't see Avani.
Raise your hand. Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, hi. Oh my God, you have been here so much, right next to me on my thing, and I haven't seen you. This is what happens, huh? Now let me see you first. Close. Hi.
Hi.
Tell me what your film was about.
It basically talks about the importance of being quarantined. Yeah, that's the whole idea behind the movie.
Importance of being?
Quarantine. Taking the precaution. No, quarantine. Due to the whole COVID situation, taking the measures and guidelines according to the government and staying at home and taking all the instructions properly. Yeah, we were trying to reflect on Because when you look at it right now, since day one, since the news came out regarding the virus and till this day, a part of the statistic aspect when it comes to other things like wear your gloves or do the sanitizer, social distancing, like people are aware of it, but people are also ignorant about it. Like, I'm not generalizing things, but I have seen people, like I have seen in life, being ignorant about things. So we wanted to convey the message or just tell people again, why is it important to follow these rules? Because it is set for a reason. So yes, that's basically what the whole short film is about.
Okay, so for me, the film was how much personal distancing, social distancing is causing. Social distancing is a given, but whether I am getting away from that person also, the person there who is 2 yards away from me, would it make a difference if that person was sitting, let's say, half an inch away from me or 4 yards away from me? So there's an interesting aspect of personal distancing as opposed to social distancing in your film. That's what I understood.
The situation of lockdown in general, that's what it is about.
Some of the shots I couldn't quite figure out. Like, for example, food is being served to the others, and where is my food? Where is my food? What exactly is happening there? What's happening?
We are trying to show that the person is being ignored throughout the half of the movie or towards the end of the movie. And in the end, when you reveal that the person is no more alive, the fictional aspect of it, so to point out till that point, that's where the whole story is. Because again, if I were to start saying that my short film is about this topic, which again we see lots of posts and articles and news in general, people wouldn't have the interest to sit and watch in the first place. So we want to emphasize on the topic from the beginning, but we wanted to make sense in the end. So yes, we try to show him, but again not included, rather excluded. That's the...
Okay. A little thing about the film which sort of didn't look right to me was that when you're making a point of view film, it's the point from the point of view who the protagonist in the film is.
Yes.
We cannot have a shot going on where this man comes, because we are moving only with him. Now there's this girl who's doing something on the computer. So there's a shot which takes place first and then he intrudes. In a point of view film, this cannot happen. In a point of view film, my camera should come only with the person whose point of view I'm seeing the film. That shot I cannot see beforehand. So anyway, since we were able to talk for so long about a film, it means there must be something to it. So well done, Avani.
Thank you.
Ramnakar.
Abhishek is not around.
Abhishek here?
Yeah, I don't see him, so he's not here. We can skip that.
Yeah, we'll skip that, but I must say I enjoyed it because it didn't say this, that, and the other. It was just looking at things as they were. So I found it quite relaxing. It didn't do much to me. Having said that, it didn't take away anything from me either. I couldn't have seen it for 1 hour, but for those minutes, I enjoyed it. All right, let's get back to whether people have come back from.
Prajit was here. We were supposed to talk about the colored life. Prajit was here just now. I think he's gone now. And okay. Have we talked about everybody else's films, or is anybody's film?
Pratya is here. Pratya, he's yet to react.
Yeah. Pratya,
we have talked about it.
I think I got cut off again. Bad internet.
Yeah, we have talked about Pratya's film, so I would like to see if somebody's film who's here, who's not yet been talked about.
I didn't get that, sir. Was that a question?
No, anybody. Now, until somebody else comes and if we have a few minutes, please feel free to say whatever you want to say, and if I am able to, if I have something to say, I'll say.
All right. So, yeah, Pratya, would you like to add to something like what Sir was saying in the beginning? Where you
I just got cut off before I think the question came to me. What was the question again?
No, there's no question. I'm just saying what you want to say.
Oh, got my.
Anybody? There's no question happening.
No, sir.
The board
Ashok,
exams
sir.
have been postponed. Huh?
No, Ashok, sir. Pratya is the director of Slapped, where you had posed the question in the end sequence of it, and he was yet to react.
This was about that end
Slapped.
with this. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah, you're talking about the last twist.
I was saying that I think we did talk about it, that the film became about revenge, a well-planned revenge, and this, that, and the other. And lockdown as an opportunity. You're looking at the film, lockdown as an opportunity. Lockdown as an opportunity to do a good thing or a bad thing, that's a separate thing. That's the film. Yeah. That's it. So it did not... Yeah, no, I have nothing. No. I don't think, Sudhima, you're very beautiful and all that. I don't think there's a much of a point there. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So we can spend another minute or two if anybody has any particular question or anything to say. Okay, Maz has raised hands.
Just comment.
Yeah.
Do we have our guests here? Any guests who want to say something?
So yeah, Manas and Alokjis are here, and Anshulika is here, and Redmi means the other Suraj is here. Just a sec, sir. Prajit is back again. I am admitting him. So let's just talk about his film as well.
Where is Prajit now?
Okay, Prajit's film was The Colored Life.
Colored Life. Where is he? Hi, Prajit. Hi, Prajit. Hi.
Yeah, Prajit, can you hear? Prajit, we can see Prajit.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. I enjoyed your film immensely.
Thank you, sir.
No, but I am supposed to be taking the master class, so I have to say something negative also.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. No, it was a very enjoyable film, and couple of observations that I'd like to make, which is not to say that right or wrong is not the point. Now, for example, the shots before the lockdown, shots before the lockdown come with as much importance or as much clarity as the shots of the present. The shot. I would have personally liked to see them on a video, on a mobile phone or something. Because what was happening was that it was too much like a motion film that you would see somewhere. I should get the impression of the lockdown and the wistfulness and the hasrat jisko kehenge, desire or something to be built up already about the that what you're missing in the when you're in the lockdown. Those scenes as completely independent scenes make it more like a movie recall and not like the short film recall that you had. I would have liked to see them via mobile. That is one point. Secondly, first of all, the child is very sweet. Who is the child?
He is my son.
Huh? Who
He's
is
my
that?
son.
Huh?
My son.
Oh, wow. So, absolutely lovely guy. I want to cuddle him actually to start with. Absolutely beautiful, and it was so sweet, everything was wonderful.
He was here.
And he's the one who's conveying.
Yeah.
Where is he now? Hi.
Yeah, he
is conveying your message.
Sure. Yeah, sir. Actually, he was here. He is playing here.
Okay, all right. So I must say the message. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
I saw your film. Beautiful. You look so good in it. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So what I was saying was that
No,
you
no.
brought the compassion through the child. The child's compassion continues. The child is careful about what the mother would like, and he would like his mother to look good, and gets all those things very nicely done. But he doesn't seem to have a moment which is, like that's a very adult reaction, that you have understood the lockdown and you have gone beyond the leg down, and you are trying to, redress whatever is wrong within the thing. Now, to me, the child, and it is impossible to, in my mind, to tell it with the child, really. So that's the only thing I would like to say. I loved the film, A Colored Light. But a child being like the father of the man, yes, of course, and all that kind of stuff is there. And why should a gray-haired person think that he is far more knowledgeable and experienced? One thing about COVID, which has made us all of this, is that you have rightly lost respect for our experiences. No one has experienced this. So nowadays, my youngster tells me, sanitize this, that, and the other. So it's all coming from the youngster, and therefore all my experience of life is completely a waste. Anyway, coming back to you. I think, didn't you find it difficult to get the child do all the sermon, as it were?
Difficult to make him to make him.
Yeah, because I loved it. That I've already said. Now I am now at complete liberty to criticize it also. Yeah.
Actually, he's only 3.5, and sometimes seeing camera in front of him, he'll feel uncomfortable, and he says that don't shoot me, I will not do anything. And it takes 6 or 7 days following him, asking him to do, and his mother made him possible to be comfortable in front of camera.
Oh, that's why he was so kind to the mother. I think you have this way of handling and have your wife together with you. And it's very difficult to make a film with a child, and this was very well done. I enjoyed you. Yeah, anybody else who we've not talked to, Shyam?
May I say something, sir?
Manas wants to say something. Yeah.
Yes,
Manas.
There is this movie called This Too Shall Pass. I think you have been a little too harsh with the maker of that film, because I saw the paintings very closely, and to my mind, because I am an audience of all these films, I am not a maker of any of them. Those paintings were chosen very intelligently. So either a lot of the messaging was through the paintings which had been picked up by the maker. So
yes,
I do feel that
sorry, please continue.
Yeah, so I do feel that there were a number of messages coming through in the paintings themselves. And I liked the way art was made the principal character in the film. So I think that it was a very harsh assessment. I in fact saw that film thrice, and
oh wow,
I felt like this should not pass. So I have a completely contrary opinion.
Wow, that's the greatest compliment I've got. Thank you so much. What you've said is exactly the idea of my film. The spokesperson are my paintings, and so it all differs, right? It's everyone's perspective. So I completely understand when Ashok sir is saying that it becomes preachy and philosophical, but that's how I think. I don't delve into everyday matters, and that was my way of.
I understand his perspective too, but we often don't agree. That's also a common thing. So this is another occasion, but I think it was a very well done concept. That's what I thought.
Thank you.
Manas is my nephew.
Oh wow! We have a war. We have a civil war then.
He's making up for me. But you can continue
Yes,
to call
sir.
me handsome. No, but he has a very valid point, and I always said that look, it's a personal viewpoint. It did not. I never said that it. This too shall pass to my way of thinking, Manas, is a bit of. I mean, irrespective of the very good artwork that you can enjoy, being an artist yourself, the fact, I mean, I get your point completely and I agree with you 100%. But when I'm looking at my cinema, I'm looking at it my way, all right? And for me, this too shall pass without a reference to the context which, like, Role Explore wanted films to be made in during this. This film is a standalone film and you can show it anytime. It
I
doesn't have.
understand what you're saying because perhaps being a painter myself, I looked at the paintings a little more closely. And so maybe in an art festival or a festival specific to the art of painting, this is more relevant. As far as the quarantine film festival goes, I tend to agree with what you're saying. So perhaps my personal interest in the art of painting drove me a little more towards this film.
Yeah.
Manas,
Can
give your telephone number to Sundema. Manas?
No, I just want to share something here. What happened after the screening? I mean, of course, I have my own YouTube channel, so I uploaded this video a long time back when the lockdown happened and quarantine happened. So the response to this was, of course, a variety of responses, and one of them was from a person who had just come out of quarantine. He was from South Africa, I think, and he happened to watch that film. And he told me like how watching that video actually soothed him and made him so positive and strong. So it's like that, you know, like it's my frame of mind. I tend to think philosophically and artistically. What can be said in you know, everyday words and everyday languages, like pointing to political situations, is not my kind of treatment. I'm more comfortable with under the skin. Because what poetry does is it's anyway symbolical. Everybody knows that I'm talking about quarantine and lockdown because that's how the film starts. Like, it's not easy to wake up every morning feeling brave and strong. It's only natural to feel sometimes, and this is a poem to lift up our spirits. So it's just one of the points of view, and I'm just happy that it has helped people in some manner positively, and that was my only intention. But I'm so honored, sir.
Made up for me, huh? Manas has made up for me.
No, sir, I'm so honored to just hear from you that you could take the time to watch my film and comment on it. Thank you so much.
Right, so
over to you.
Yeah, all right. So if anybody has any particular query, if any question that incites you or anything that struck your mind at this point of time to ask Ashok sir, you can take 1 or 2 minutes still. And then, okay, yeah, so Sundima has raised her hand.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm just curious to know like how the artistic situation is right now, and every one of us is trying to cope one way or the other. What are you up to? What are you doing? Are you writing something? Are you creating
What am
something?
I up to?
How's the artist in you coping in this lockdown?
Okay. Basically, you know, my first there's a claim to fame to myself is that I'm a writer. And as a writer, I can do something very interesting. I plan very beautifully. I always start writing from tomorrow. So I am doing nothing, which is an impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Wow.
Comes very, very easily to me. Okay. The other thing is that we have started a Facebook page. I'm translating somebody's book also, so that's part of the job. The other thing is that we have started a Facebook page, and I'll like you guys to come to it if you're interested. It's called Tareef Karu Kya Inki, where we are paying tributes to Hindi film song to start with, but to also to Urdu poets by taking something of what they have done and building our own, taking the first line of their song and making my own song and singing it and so on and so forth. So that has kept me engaged because that it sounds like parodying, but it is a little parody is not such a bad word after all. But it actually takes a lot of creative juice out of you. And this Manas, who has made good comments about you, and his father, who is sitting next to him, both of them sing very well. You say, Ashok, Tauji, you sing very well also. Say. Manas, you have to say.
My microphone was on mute. That's a statement of fact. He does sing very well. You can make out
Okay,
from
cool.
his voice.
And I just wanted to keep my
Now,
impression.
sir, sorry. Now that you've said about singing, then we have to have some singing here.
No, not in this
Please.
program. You go to the Facebook page, you will see that. No.
That's a good way to plug in the page. If you
I
want to
will
listen
not
to
do
us sing.
So definitely, I would definitely recommend that. Please visit the page Tareef Karun Kya Inki. That's a very nice Facebook page, and he has created a lot of songs, and it's being followed by a lot of people. Yeah. So, and I think all the questions are now done, or is okay?
Did
Maz
Harsha
wanted.
raise his hand? Harsha, did you raise your hand? Harsha, did you raise your hand?
Because I quickly went to that particular page and liked the page and started following the page.
Oh my God.
I think
That's
Maz has a
quick,
question, so Maz can ask. Yeah.
Hi, sir. And only if we have time, otherwise we can take it separately. It's just a curiosity.
Yeah.
Sir, you made a point in the beginning of this session and then we went on to discuss each film. But I was quite curious. So I would just, if you can, go back to that point and slightly elaborate it when you said that you were missing the politics in the film, rather the political element in the film. What did you mean by that? And I had throughout, I was thinking on it, so I had my assumptions also. So is it that the issues or the topics we choose to tell need to be political or need to have a political element? Or is it that because it's ultimately the maker's prerogative? Or is it that whatever narrative we choose to tell, we just need to acknowledge, consider, and take care of the politics that comes with that narrative?
Okay. Let me put it this way. I find a whole lot of people who say that, no, I am apolitical. And they are the worst politicians because they are making lives miserable for everybody else. For me, politics is not necessarily party politics or one thing or the other, but the entire structure of society and your relationships and so on and so forth are built on the edifice of cultural politics, social politics, which ultimately reflects into relationship politics. Now, for example, your film has politics to it. Very much so. Domestic violence is a very interesting subject. Of course, our foreign minister thinks that whatever is happening there, nobody should talk about it because it's happening in our, as if domestic violence is only the subject to be discussed between the people who are fighting. Thank you very much. No, domestic violence is a subject which is to be talked about outside of those four walls where that domestic violence is taking place. Now, when I talk about domestic violence, therefore, I'm being political. I'm talking about politics. Similarly, any relationship, because you see, this element of wanting to overpower.
Yeah, the moment power dynamics comes, there is politics.
Exactly. Even in your and my conversation, a certain politics is likely to start. If we get out of our, formalities and all that, I'll have a point of view and you will have a point of view and I will like to prove right and you will like to prove right. So we have already begun that social edifice that I talked about, where you cannot but have politics as the basis of it. And personally, if you look at the great art or everything that we have, seeing anything great which is enduring, had that element in it. Now, for example, somebody could say very easily, did Pather Panchali, for example, I hope you guys have seen it, did it have any politics? The fact is, there was a very nice incident between Satyajit Ray and Nehru. Nehru said that, Mr. Ray, why do you want to show so much poverty? I mean, there are lots of other things. He said, sir, very easy, remove the poverty and I'll stop showing it. Now, he did not sort of talk about in Pather Panchali poverty as being the main thing, but the emotional thing as the main thing. But the backdrop itself was very political. So, likewise, great cinema, great art, great this thing does necessarily reflect the politics of that time. And for me, that is an extremely important feature of any creative work.
All right, sir.
May I say something on Maz's film, please?
Who's that?
Manas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I think that the concept of vlogging needs to be understood to understand the expressions of the main character. So what I did feel was that the reason she's not expressing the way you traditionally see on film or in cinema is because she's a vlogger who's trying to convey something through her influence on YouTube or whichever platform she's using. Because you have an alternate family these days. If you are an influencer, if you have a family on YouTube, you have a family on social media, Taarif Karu Ki Inki is a family. So there is a certain expression which you have to maintain because that video is going to be out. And I think the expressions were perfect. The expressionlessness was perfect, rather. I enjoyed it. So I disagree with your mom and with Ashok Tauji in this respect. That I think the expressions were just right.
I would like to add here.
Did I recommend Manas? Sham?
Yeah.
Did I recommend? Then I'm very sorry here. He's disagreeing with everything that I said.
You brought him here. So, all right.
Anyway,
so I would just like give.
Point.
Yeah. I would bring it to the point that even in the last meeting, I had raised this issue with Maz, and we had concluded that he had very beautifully combined two things together. One is the issue of domestic violence in the lockdown, and another thing is being somebody who has started an online recipe channel. Because during the lockdown, a lot of people have become like counselors, a lot of people have become online trainers, online marketing executives.
A lot of people are just simply posting food pics.
Exactly. So that was part of it. So that is what makes sense what Manas was also saying. So this was already being discussed. So yeah. So that was
can I please add something?
Very briefly, because we are running short of time.
Yes, very, very, very briefly. So I would also agree with Manas what he was saying, because I don't generally look at things on the surface, and it's that there are these happy couple photographs where you are like full bright and smiley, but the story is underneath it. So that's what that film actually worked for me, because she was extra smiley and everything was so perfect, but I knew how dirty it was underneath. So
by the way, I don't disagree with any of these things. No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I must say that it did not come for discussion, but all that I really think so. However, as audience, I am that person who is going to help the protagonist. I must go to her place and do something about it. That's what I should be when I'm watching the film, right? Isn't that right? Yes. That moment of little interaction between the husband or something, that 1/10th of a second or whatever, that kind of helplessness. I'm very happy for there's a damsel in distress, okay? I'm saying it as if I'm saying it in a joke, but really speaking, I must get that my compassion, I want a trigger. I am not such a smart watcher as Manas is or Sundema is. I want a bit of a trigger. And
there comes the politics.
For a filmmaker, because this is not to run down whatever he has done, not at all, not in the least. As I said from the very beginning, who the hell am I? I'm only one of the few. So, with all that thing, I would still maintain the point I made, and I still agree with your mother. Huh?
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, Sundima.
Yeah, we have 2 on 2.
All right. So I think the discussions are it can continue for hours and hours, but then we have to stop somewhere. And now the moment comes where I'm going to announce like 5 films, the awards, the 5. In fact, for me, all the films are winners because this whole gambit of like creating this festival with all films in different sectors, in different genres, and like touching upon different segments of the society. That is why we chose all these films to be part of the festival. But then as per the jury, we had given a very strict guidelines also to the jury, and they had done their work and they have come up with a list. So I'm going to list out those films, and yeah. So are you ready for that? All right, yeah. So this is not in any order particularly, but it is in random. So I'll be just listing like 5 films. So one of the films out of the 5 films is also a Audience Choice Award as well. Yeah. I'm sure you already know who would be an Audience Choice Award because that's seen on the website. But that film qualifies in both the places, not only in the audience choice, but also by the jury. Okay?
Woohoo!
Yes.
Sorry,
So,
I've unmuted myself. I think we need to make noise.
Definitely. So, in fact, after every film, you can all unmute yourself and you can do that sound. Yes, that will be fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So, so these films are not in order. So I'll be
very good.
So I'll be saying 5 names, but 5 names are not in the order of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be 5, 4. It could be 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. Anything. So I'm not going to list like 5, but these are the 5 listed films. Yeah. All right. So heartbeats are fast now. I can actually listen to the heartbeats of everyone rising. Okay. So the first film, then goes by the name of Halat State.
Woo! Yeah, Swanand.
Swanand is here. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yes. Okay.
Swanand, are you here?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm making noise for him. Woo!
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
I loved your film.
And next one up on the list is smoked chicken gravy.
Woo! Gomas!
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
All right. And the third film on the list is Time Loop.
Woo! Oh wow! I love that film too. I wish Saurabh was here.
Saurav is not here, but then that doesn't deter the award. Yes, definitely. Not being present doesn't mean that he cannot get the award.
He's awesome.
Yes. And the next one is A Colored Life.
Wow! Excellent!
Is he here? Prajit? I think he's gone. Yeah, okay. And the next film, which is winner at both the places, the audience award and also by the jury award, that's New Normal.
New Normal!
Thank you, sir.
Because New Normal has got more than 3,800. All right, so
thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
So now we can say a
By
big.
the way, I mean, very interesting jury because a whole lot of shades that we have covered here have been covered by the jury. Very nice.
Actually. So a big hip hip hooray to all the films.
Congratulations,
hip
hip hooray!
Shyam, you have to promise to all of us that this was not the only thing that Role Explore is going to do. Please do have 4 months of lockdown, for example, as the topic now. I mean, you say long lockdown or something, because then the film might take a little different turn, no matter how you project it. But I would like to see another festival.
Definitely. We are working on it. We are just like finalizing the technicalities of it. So very soon, in about less than a week's time, we'll be announcing something similar on this line.
Would you like to tell us something more about Role Explore also? Because I don't know much.
Okay. So Role Explorer Studios, we have started like some time back, me and my partner Hemant Kher. He is busy somewhere today. In fact, he had a class also today. So we are both pass outs of National School of Drama. We are batchmates from 2003 batch. And we are both acting trainers, we are directors, we are actors, and we write also. We conduct several workshops. So Role Explorer Studios have at this point of time 4 different verticals. One is the workshops related to acting. So it's acting, voice and speech and other fields. The second, somebody is like banging the table. Who is that? Okay. Yeah, I think Sumdima was that.
No, actually, Prajit has no idea. He just messaged saying he has no idea.
We'll come back to it. Yeah, so let me just finish about it. So Role Explorer, one of the vertical is the training, another vertical is the screenwriting. So we have come up with already 4 scripts and we are pitching it to the producers. Just before the lockdown, in fact, one of the script was finalized by a producer, but because of the lockdown, it has stopped. And we are also planning to start and the third vertical is the filmmaking, where we have already produced some short films and we are about to announce our feature film also. So it is on the verge of completion. We'll be starting the production of it in about 2 months. And the fourth thing is the casting, because when we started this, we somehow, out of the blue, we were approached by 2-3 people to cast for their projects. So we included that thing also in our vertical. So as of now, and apart from that, this is a platform because we have spent around like more than 12 years in the industry in capacity of actor, director, writer, all sorts of things. So we have also built this platform not only to create things for us, but to also collaborate on different level. So we are also working on a model of a collaboration of creating in fact, Hemant said not to reveal it now, but then I can give you a brief idea that it would be a kind of a web series which will be made in collaboration. So I'm just giving you a brief idea about it, not much more than this, yeah. So very soon we'll be coming out with this as well. Yes. So that's for the Role Explorer Studios. We are having our own studio set up here in Andheri West. Just before the lockdown, we were finalizing our in-house editors also. But then because of the lockdown, everything like gone on the back seat. So we are also going to have a regular edit suite. So whomsoever, like all of you are now part of family. Whosoever wants to have like come to the studio, collaborate with us, like make some projects together, or maybe take advantage of our studio space or editing space, editing thing. So you all are welcome. Yes. So and yeah. So basically, there was a lot talked about the nepotism recently. So we are against the nepotism, and we are creating a community here. So to beat the nepotism, actually, so that we all can rise together.
I'm very much in favor.
Power.
So yes, to
I'm very I think Manas said nice things.
Yeah. And I would like to thank all of you to be part of this festival. Very soon, as Ashok sir has demanded, and a lot of other people have also demanded for a similar or a different kind of a festival, we'll be coming up with this. And I would like to thank Ashok sir for like giving a very good masterclass. And I would like to underline a few points very quickly, like. I'm not going to explain this, but just as pointers, like he talked about like how much to explain in the film. So this is one of the pointers, which is my takeaway also. He's talked about the driving idea, like what is the driving idea for your film? He talked about the agent for change, like what is it that is making a change in your film? He also talked about like the build-up and the release. That's also very important in a film, and he very briefly talked about while talking about the film Jumla, he talked about the title. So your title is as important as anything else. So all these things, I mean, just to sum up, like these 5 things I got as the takeaway. I'm sure you would have also got different points. We have also made a WhatsApp group that is for the learning, for the collective learning. We can always throw ideas when anybody is facing any kind of difficulties in terms of concept, in terms of creating it, in terms of like collaborating, in terms of like facing any difficulties, how to sort out things. We're always there, and we'll be taking help of you guys as well. So it is an ecosystem which is beneficial for all of us. And to announce, Prajit, your film is selected in the 5 winners. So
yay, Prajit, can you hear finally?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Got it now.
congratulations to your son.
I want to say one thing.
That was the jury. Yeah. So just let me conclude one more line. So that was the jury's decision. It's not my decision. It is not Ashok's decision. Jury were 5 different people. You know all the names of the juries. So that was strictly coming from them. So I did not like to alter anything from what is coming from the jury. So that is what the juries think. Yeah. And we should respect that. For me, all the 18 films are winner. Over to you, sir.
Just a little point. I'm glad Sri Chandra H was not present because we couldn't see him on the video. Because he's such a good-looking guy. You won't have been able to do all that you said.
Okay.
Ashok sir, also one thing, it's
Thank you,
remarkable
sir.
how you've watched our movie so closely. I mean, you remember the dialogues too. We are so humbled, so thank you so much.
My God, Sundema, I mean, this is getting a little much as okay.
And I would also like to tell here about the good energies. Because of the so pure and good energies, the Zoom link which was to get cut at 40 minutes, in the between I got a message from the Zoom that we have extended your Zoom session limitlessly. So that is why we didn't cut at 40 minutes. So we've been talking since like 2 hours now. Yeah, so that
actually,
thanks
this
to Zoom.
is one of the best Zoom sessions that I have had. Because this has really been pretty much uninterrupted. Yeah.
So yes, thanks a lot.
So thank you so
from
much.
my
Thank
side.
you guys.
Yes, yeah.
And
Thank
you
you,
can
sir.
get in touch with me in case you have some, you want to.
Yeah, I will share Ashok Lal sir's
Sounding
email
good.
address and all. Yeah, so whenever if you need to,
He will be able to give it to you.
consult her, yeah. And do take care of yourself and do keep in touch. I've created a WhatsApp group, so whosoever is not in the WhatsApp group, want to be a part of the WhatsApp group, can again join. And that WhatsApp group is going to be there. Yeah.
Saroji, bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yay.
all the
Bye,
best.
everyone.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.